Hello everyone, welcome to this ASMR speed build. I decided to do this speed build as a shell challenge, so I downloaded this shell off the gallery and I will leave the information of the maker and creator in my description box. I start with the roof because the roof is my least favorite part of these challenges, and the hard part of this shell was these little diagonal corners that made it kind of tricky to roof, so I left a little corner to deal with later, and I kind of just let inspiration take me and see where I ended up in terms of what the theme or the vibe was of this build. So I started thinking that I wanted to do a lot of windows, but I decided to make this a base game build challenge, and I think I successfully built this entire house with only base game items. But I had to catch myself a couple times. So I think the sort of theme of this build started when I found these cabinets, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go with like industrial, sort of like warehouse kind of vibes, like modern industrial, and that kind of fit in with like the big windows. So it's almost like that feeling of like an old loft, sort of. And I kind of just went with it, and that ended up being the vibe. I don't typically do builds that are like black and white with a lot of gray. I tend to go more with like wood colors, like deep browns, but I thought I would try something different this time. And it was tough picking that table because it was mostly wood, but I found this sort of like dark metal one. Chairs were actually really hard. It took me a long time to find a chair. You'll see me going through all of them and struggling. I don't have a lot of custom content, and I try not to use custom content in my builds because I just want it to be more accessible to everyone, and let's be honest, the Sims packs are not cheap. I decided I wanted to build a house for maybe a family that likes to do a lot of entertaining, perhaps. So big space for dining and sitting and kind of just enjoying each other's company. That would be really nice. And so I thought about putting a TV here, but I decided I would add that somewhere else later in the house. And I love an exposed brick, so I could not help myself. And I tried to find, like, I didn't want it everywhere, I just wanted a couple spots. These little, like, atriums on the side were actually inspired by my brother's apartment. They have these weird little triangles on either side of their main room. And it's kind of nice because, like, you can put plants in there, and so that was sort of what my plan was. Upstairs I had a lot of room to work with, so I decided to make like a big master bedroom with an ensuite, and I was not limiting myself in the budget. I was gonna use I wanted to make like a vanity with this desk, but I discovered that the little mirror that I had, I think from the bathroom clutter kit, I wouldn't be able to use in this base game. But this is me kind of building my walk-in closet too. I realized that the closets that I have in game are not base game, so I had to make my own closet. This is me trying to do a double shower. I love a double shower, but I was getting frustrated, so I decided to just do a single shower and do a bathtub. I really just went with this black and white theme through the whole thing. Mirrors were definitely a struggle because I find they're so small. Like there's no good like big mirrors that aren't floor length mirrors in the game. Even when I'm not doing like just a base build, it was really hard to find mirrors that fit. I really wanted to have windows that went straight down, but there weren't any windows that matched that could go straight down. So then I decided to do a kids room, and it's been a while since I've done one with bunk beds, and I thought like the metal bars of the bunk beds worked really well. I thought that maybe these would be sisters. Both have two different favorite colors, so they were found a way to like make the blue and the pink throughout the whole house. And I thought because this is sort of like warehouse vibes, they would definitely use that modern dollhouse. But I decided I wouldn't put that in the room. I would make sort of like a den or like a TV room. I don't know if anybody else had this when they were growing up, but like my family had like a little living room area when you first walked in, where we had like, it was a fake fireplace, but it had like a mantle. We had sort of couches, and that was like our living room. And then downstairs we had the TV room, so that was where like the toys and everything, all the DVDs and the big giant TV went. I say big giant, it wasn't that big for most of my life, but eventually my dad got a big TV, but now I think I have a bigger TV than he does. Anyway, all that to say, I decided to make a playroom or a TV room that would be separate from sort of the visiting area. And I've always found myself sort of at a loss of what to do with like the big hallway areas. Oh, this is me accidentally using get to work railings instead of base game railings, so I fix that later, don't worry. I jumped around a little bit. Sometimes I'm very like systematic when I do this, and I'm like, I do everything, like including clutter in each room as I go. I found in this when I was a little bit all over the place, and when I found like an object I knew I wanted to use in another room, I put it in there before I forgot about it. This is me, I think, once again trying to do a bathroom with the mirrors from base game. Oh yeah, these hallways, I never know what to do with them, and I always like struggle. There I am catching myself with not base game walls again. So I decided to make it like a little office area, put some bookshelves in there. I was originally thinking of like a little book reading space, but then I remembered I don't have the book nook stuff if I'm doing a base game build, so I was actually really impressed though with how cute the kids room ended up being, considering all the base game wallpapers, because that was kind of tough. There wasn't a lot of like fun stuff to work with. And the rugs, oh, don't get me started on the rugs. The rugs were really hard. This one worked out. I don't know that I've ever actually used that little blue stripy pattern, because the preview of it is always like a bright purple and pink color. So it was kind of cool to find. That swatch. It worked pretty well in this room. I didn't overdo it too much with the clutter in this pack, because there wasn't a lot to work with that fit the vibe. First of all, there wasn't a lot of like decor that fit with the vibe. It would have been awesome if I had access to my eco lifestyle, but because I am committed to doing base game, I decided to add a little color in the main upstairs bath and keep the sort of ensuite as simple, like black and white colors. did okay with the rugs. I think the kids' rug, they added like a nice cute base game one. I'm actually now just wondering if that rug was base game, and I am concerned that maybe... Oh no, it is base game. Okay, that's awesome. I was worried that rug wasn't base game, but sometimes I'm smarter than I think I am. I just tried to decorate it to show off like maybe 2 different personalities for each kid. I think it would be really fun to build a family, so if you move a family into this house, please let me know. Show me so I can see, because I think it would be cool to see. I thought since this is like the playroom, maybe there would be like this sort of play mat. So instead of like the cheesy like multicolored ones, maybe that's sort of the compromise. And I thought maybe the parents are sort of film buffs, or they work on film, so they have some like movie posters. I thought that would be kind of cool. And I think I'm sort of doing a bit of clutter and final decor touches. The rug was really challenging because there were very limited rugs, and a lot of them were either like very modern, like very geometric, or very like cozy vibes, and not really that sort of like industrial look that I was going for. This is me just kind of going through all the rooms that I didn't quite finish. I decided to add a little color with sort of like a bluey beige rug. And then I kind of go through with some like different plants and cluttering. This is definitely where I went a little bit all over the place. I think eventually at one point I just told the game, I just like switched it to show all the items that were base game, so I could just scroll through everything and not have to worry about the categories, because I find sometimes the paintings versus wall decorations can be kind of confusing. So the one problem with these little atriums was that because of the doorways, it didn't like me putting plants there, so I didn't get too much. I wasn't able to squeeze in too much, but I think if you put on move objects cheat, you should be able to pop them in there, and your Sims will probably be able to move around them, no problem. Just that without that cheat on, the game was mad at me, and I just wanted to keep things as simple as possible, so that this build would be accessible to more people. I was trying to find some more sort of like rustic looking. I started looking at curtains and I just gave up, and I was like, I'm not even gonna keep going with that. This is me just kind of trying to make this entryway look a little bit more full, adding in some things in the corners, and then I realized that I had to finish the roof because I've been putting it off this whole time. This takes me a little while where I go through and I just hated, like that one didn't look too bad, but I just didn't like how the little corner of the left side was hanging off, and I tried a few things. You'll see me troubleshooting a bunch and then erasing it all, and eventually just ended up putting fencing there, because I was like, I can't figure this out. I'm getting frustrated. And my dad's rule with gaming is when it stops being fun, it's time to take a break. So I decided not to let it get to the point. Oh yeah, I just decorated. I was like, this looks like factory. Let's really lean into it. So I put that weird little like vent or fan on top. This is me going through, checking any wallpaper spots that I didn't do yet, and just fixing some of the windows that were kind of bothering me. And And then I did a little bit of work on the exterior. There was very limited item selection for outdoor, so I didn't spend as much time on the exterior as I normally do. Here we go, I finally caught that fencing. I started doing friezes and then I was like, no, it's not gonna do what I want it to do. Actually, did I ever get rid of them? I see that I didn't. That's gonna bother me that it's going halfway into that left window there. I thought I got rid of that, but I guess not. Oh well, it's too late now. Little terrain painting here just to make it look a little bit more real. I thought they're definitely the kind of family that would like grow their own herbs or veggies or something. And then I was like, I don't know, you've got kids, you gotta have a backyard. So I put this door in, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's functional. I never play tested it, so you may have to make some changes if that door doesn't work, because I think it's technically on a platform, and I think it's short enough that Sims can step down that platform, but it wouldn't let me put stairs there. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you are having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you again soon.